I'd like to call the meeting of May 13th at Council Chambers Town Hall, a public, meeting at 8 o'clock. Okay. First of all, we'll call to order. We'll do invocation and pledge of allegiance. I think Mrs. Dancho will handle it.
O Heavenly Father, grant us your guidance as we are gathered here this evening in carrying out our duties to our townspeople and helping to make our town a better place in which to live. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of April 8th, 2019?
So moved.
Mr. Pia, is there a second by Mrs. Dancho? Is there any discussion about it? If not, we're calling the all vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 7-0. Okay, and also, I'd like a motion to approve the special meeting of May 2nd.
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Dancho, second by Mr. O'Brien. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 7-0. Now, ceremonial presentation awards the Putney Chapel Association. Did we work out with
I know, huh? What's up with that? Okay.
Good evening, Mayor Hoydick and Town Council members. My name is Beata Hlinka, and I am the current president of Putney Chapel Association. With me tonight are our Vice President, Ronald Clough, Trustee Vincent Chase, Treasurer Jay Sheehy, Secretary Janet Halliday, and our dear volunteer, Maureen Millward. Thank you for inviting us here tonight. We are delighted to present this print of the Putney Chapel to the town of Stratford to commemorate the chapel's 175th anniversary. Mrs. Halliday will provide a brief history.
The Putney Chapel was built in 1844 and is managed by the Putney Chapel Association, a private state-chartered tax-exempt corporation. From 1844 through 1965, the chapel had considerable use by many groups, including the Putney Ladies and the Putney Sewing Society, which made clothing for the poor. In 1968, the town of Stratford moved the chapel from the intersection of Chapel Street and Main Street, Putney, to the grounds of Booth Memorial Park. However, after the move, the chapel remained dormant for 18 years. In 1984, the association, spearheaded by George Lay, then president, voted to create a building committee to raise funds for restoration. The chapel that stands today is a legacy to the commitment of George and Jean Lay, as they were the driving force in establishing the building fund and managing the entire restoration until the reopening of the chapel in 1985. Although this building is referred to as a chapel, it is a non-denominational meeting house. In addition to holding the Chapel Association's meetings, the chapel has also served weddings, memorial services, baptisms, and other organization meetings. After the reopening of the chapel, the association members revived the Christmas Eve service, which continues to this day. For additional information, please visit our website at putneychapel.org.
As members of this independent volunteer association, we are proud to be the stewards of Putney Chapel's traditions of service. We honor the service of the chapel's 175 years by presenting this print and having it displayed in Town Hall.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
having this in my office. You want to go?
That's really beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Thanks again to the Putney Chapel folks. Next item, letter of resignation for information only. Deb Perman, April 4th, 2019, from Stratford Library Association. She resigned. The next thing that we have is the mayor's report.
Thank you, Council Chair. So we've had a busy month since we last met, well, since we last had our regular council meeting. We had a brick box ribbon cutting on April 15th, the David Ryan Keeley Memorial dedication of the mosaic and the patio at Nichols Elementary School, which is in the rear of the building. You should really see it. It's quite beautiful. National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. We were presented honors at the Dispatch on April 18th. The Putney Chapel Foundation gift to the town of Stratford, which you are all now privileged to see, was received on April 20th. I attended the Stratford High School Honor Society induction on April 24th, met with the Connecticut Housing Commissioner, Sela Mosquera Bruno, on the 25th. Melinda Fonda, our tax assessor, retired on the 26th. We attended the Housatonic River cleanup and a green sweep on Saturday the 27th. And I forgot how many tons of garbage we collected, but it was an amazing amount. Stratford Library Gala was a lot of fun on April 27th at Oronoque. We took a tour with the Economic Development Commissioner Lehman, Senator Kelly, Representative McGordy, Representative Young on April 30th. Christina Beto offered her resignation effective June 14th. We attended Lordship School Career Day on May 1st. The Youth Leadership Summit was held in Council Chambers on May 1st. The dedication for Bud Russell Dugout at Penders Field was also May 1st. The Stratford Chamber of Commerce Business After Hours was at Two Roads on May 6th. The Police and Fire Department had recognition at Atria on May 7th. Continuing education graduation was May 8th. The tapping of Hosanna at Two Roads Brewery, which was a real struggle and stretch for me, was May 9th. And thank you to Councilman Poisson. He invited Mike Downs, Chris Timniak, and I to sample the culinary student lunch on Friday, May 10th at Stratford High School. The upcoming events we have shortly, anyway, are the EMS Open House, which is this Saturday starting at 11 o'clock. Booth Park opening day is the 19th, and also Putney Chapel will be open that day. If you've never been there and like to tour it, that starts at 9. And the Sergei Sikorsky Flight Dedication Ceremony will be May 16th at 3:30. I'd like to give you a little bit of a heads up. We are in negotiations with the U.S. Coast Guard regarding Stratford Point. I made the appointment of Jennifer Sheldon to the Greater Bridgeport Transit Authority. Selena Moscello accepted the position of tax collector, and Donna Adlowski accepted the position of tax assessor. The 2019 Veterans Breakfast will be May 22nd at 9:00 a.m. for Vazano's Four Seasons. All Stratford veterans and their families are invited to attend, but reservations are appreciated. And then the Memorial Day services will be Monday the 27th at 11:30 a.m. at Academy Hill. You're all invited to attend, and the parade commence will be at 1:00.
Thank you, Mayor. Are there any questions for the mayor? If not, we'll go to committee reports. We're going to go to 4.3.1. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve an ordinance amending Section 203-9 of the Town Code.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion on it?
If I may, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
It should be to approve that as amended. If you look at the ordinance that's attached, after our discussions subsequent to the ordinance committee meeting, we added Long Beach to 203-9C. You guys have never formally voted on that, so it should be as amended with the inclusion of Long Beach.
Okay, I'd like to amend my motion to approve the ordinance as amended, Section 203-9 of the Town Code.
I'll still second that.
Second by Mr. Pia. Is there any discussion on the amendment?
Yes, just a point of clarification, because some people had called me about this. Could you define what the changes are going to be to the taxpayer in terms of what they have to pay, or what changes what they already are paying? Thank you.
So if you turn to page 6.
Page 6, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that. I just wanted,
Yeah.
Okay.
I read it, but, you know.
Yeah.
in
There's
terms
no
of-
charge to the taxpayers per se. It's a non-resident fee. So non-residents who would like to attend our beaches have been charged $150 for the season, and that's what is stated on here. And then it was clarifying the opening day and the ending day of the charging period.
For September, yes.
Yes.
Just like I said, I wanted them to,
Okay.
those people who didn't get a copy of this yet or
Yeah,
didn't
there's
see
no
it.
charge to residents, though. It was just a non-resident permit.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, but I just wanted to be clear on it for everyone who else that,
Okay.
called me a little bit about it. Because they have family who visits from New York and different things like that, so they wanted a point of information. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kadim. Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll call to roll call vote, starting with Mrs. Dancho.
Aye.
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 Chair votes yes, motion passes 9-0. 4.3.2, the Building Needs Committee. Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 4.3.2A and B. Could we take those together? They're both the Stratford High ones.
Yes.
Second.
Second by Mr. Tiki. Is there any discussion? If not, call to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes yes, motion passes 9-0.
Mr. Chairman, I also make a motion to approve item 4.3.2C.
Is there a second? Mr. Tiki? Any discussion? If not, we'll call to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes, motion passes 9-0.
And Mr. Chairman, I'd also like to make a motion to approve 4.3.2D.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Harden.
Mr. Kadim.
No, you motioned. I said second by Mr.
No, I made
Oh,
the
you're right. I'm asleep at the wheel. You got it. Second by Mr. Kadim. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes, motion passes 9-0. Now, the town attorney's report?
There is no report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitt. Okay, unfinished business, 5.1.1. Building needs. This, I believe, we are going to table. Is it not correct, Mr. Pia?
It is tabled.
It's currently on.
Oh, it's tabled. My fault? Okay.
It's an emotion.
Next thing, 6.2.1. Mr. Perillo?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve 6.2.1.
there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mrs. Dancho. Is there any discussion on this? If not, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9-0. 6.2.2.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to pass Resolution 6.2.2, Baldwin Center elevation repair.
Second by Mr. Kadim. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9-0.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to pass Resolution 6.2.3, Eli Whitney Florin.
Second by Mr. Hardin. Is there any discussion? If not, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9-0.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to pass Resolution 6.2.4, Nichols School HVAC upgrades.
Mr. Kadim, second. Is there any discussion? If not, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9.0. 6.2.5.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to pass Resolution 6.2.5, Franklin lower level flooring.
Second by Mr. Hardin. Is there any discussion? If not, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9-0. 6.2.6.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to pass Resolution 6.2.6, Second Hill Lane Cafe flooring.
Second.
Second by Mr. Kadim. Is there any discussion? If not, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9.0. 6.2.7.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to pass Resolution 6.2.7, Eli Whitney School HVAC upgrades.
Second by Mr. O'Brien. And any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9-0. 7.1.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve 7.1, the Valley Restoration LLC supplemental for additional Booth Park clock tower repairs.
There's a second from Mr. Kadim. Is there any discussion on this? Any discussion? If not, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9-0. 7.2.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve item 7.2, acquisition of real property located on Lordship Boulevard, Access Road / Sunset Avenue / Wood End Road.
Is there a second by Mr. Hardin? Is there any discussion? If not, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9.0. 7.3.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve license agreement between the Town of Stratford and Stratford Baseball as appended on pages 7 and 13.
Is there a second? Mr. Hardin. Is there any discussion on 7.3? If not, we'll call to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9-0. Let us go down to 7.4.4.
Mr. Chairman, I resolve that Carrie Monticelli of Elm Street be and is hereby appointed a member of the Library Association Board to the seat of Barb Poisson, who resigned, with a term to expire December 31st, 2020.
There's a motion. Is there a second? Mr. Hardin. Thank you. Any discussion on this? If not, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9-0. 7.4.5. Yes, Mr. Pearl. There's a motion. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Hardin. Is there any discussion on it? If not, we'll call it to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9-0. 7.4.7.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion for 7.4.7, be resolved that Greg Dancho of Ruby Lane be hereby and is reappointed as Stratford's representative of the Board of Directors of the Western Tourism District of the Western Connecticut Convention and Visitors Bureau for a 3-year term.
Second by Mr. Hardin. Is there any discussion? If not, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9-0. Confirmation of mayoral appointments. Is that just a...
So though the Arts Commission is my appointee, because you give them a budget allowance, you need to confirm the appointment.
Okay. Do we have people? No?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion on that then?
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
For 7.5.1?
Yep.
Okay. Be resolved that the mayor's reappointment of Teresa Manis to the Arts Commission be and is hereby confirmed.
Is there a second by Mr. O'Brien? All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9-0. Is there a motion to adjourn? Oh, hold on.
So just as a point for the record, the application was Teresa Manis Piccolo, so maybe could we amend it to Teresa Manis Piccolo? Mr. Chair. Mr. Peel.
I'll amend my motion per the mayor's request.
Still second by Mr. O'Brien. Any discussion about changing Teresa Manis Piccolo? If not, we'll call it to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Motion adjourn. Second by Mr. Kadim. All in favor? Chair votes yes. Motion passes 9-0.